Hi, I'm KV.
And I'm B, and we are so grateful to have you listening to our podcast.
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe or the follow along button so you never miss an episode. It really means the world to us.
Thanks for listening. Welcome to Sex and the One, the podcast with B and KV.
Getting down and dirty about all things love, life, sex, dating, and relationships.
Hi!
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I know I say that every time, but we are welcoming you back.
Yeah.
From wherever you're listening
We
from.
actually, I just want to say this straight
what are you
up.
going to say?
We're really grateful to all the people that tune in every week.
I know.
Like legit. B and I are often chatting on the phone and chatting for lots of things and like wanting to. We're really keen on expanding our minds, expanding, our circles, expanding our growth, and we've chosen this area as the area we want to grow in. And we've learnt so many things. We've met so many great people, like interviewing in the pod, but equally. We've met so many great people who have watched the pod and reached out to us and have taken time out of their day to tell us what they've liked about what we've said. And that means absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything. We hear stories that we probably otherwise wouldn't hear.
100%.
And, I'm honoured to hear those stories because sometimes those stories carry a lot of blame and shame and they otherwise would be, kept hidden, a secret, I guess, within that person's
100%.
And I feel like the fact that we can provide people with that space, it's quite a
we both are really motivated by sharing our story to help others, with the goal to help others. It's
not even our story, like just touching on taboo topics that no one wants to fucking talk about.
Yes,
but we need to talk about them because we know you're all thinking about it, or you might be having underhand discussions and not really saying what you might be thinking, or I just think we're conversation starters.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're like the entree, and hopefully you made me some better sex lives.
Better sex lives, better conversations and connections with people. Yeah. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, and that's what we have been able to find for us, which was kind of a side bonus. To be honest
know,
with
right?
You. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Well, speaking about stories, I have permission to share a story. I'll de-identify who they are, but this particular friend of mine is single. Mm-hmm. She's actively looking for love this year. Like this year, she's like, I'm gonna find the person. Right?
How old is she?
28.
Okay.
Yeah, 28. And she's gorgeous, very intelligent, so emotionally intelligent, like she's everything, right? She's going places and she's been places like in her career as well. I don't know if that's intimidating, but for some men or women, but she's got the full package. Anyway, so she was sharing with me that she went out on New Year's Eve,
right,
to a friend's house.
Okay.
So there's a couple, they're married, and they know her very well, and there were other people at this event as well, but it was only her that was single, and another gentleman came and he was alone, but he's married.
Right.
So there's her, single, the guy, married. Typically, like they're not coupled, basically. So they're like the odd ones out of the group. Everyone else is coupled or married.
Right.
From the barbecue, so I guess she was at the barbecue. She was enjoying her time. She knows everyone. The male who is married starts to, I guess, I would say the word flirt. We'll say flirt.
Okay.
Engage with her in ways that she felt oddly uncomfortable about, knowing that he has a wife.
Okay. Can you give me some for instances of this?
I can't, because I'm not very good at telling stories and I've forgotten, but that's all I know. That's the point.
Yeah.
I just
she
get the
felt
point.
it was flirting.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
And she felt uncomfortable to the point where she's like, I'm the single girl. Like, your best friend is my best friend's husband. What does he think I'm doing in this scenario to create this? Because I'm not. She was overly concerned that her friend's husband was going to think she had something to do with the instigation of potentially this leading down
Classic.
a path that is not,
Classic single lady judging herself for the man's actions. Let me just say that out loud without knowing the rest of the story. Carry on.
Yes. Then they proceed. So they've had a few drinks. Then they proceed to go to like a music event, like leading into the new year,
Like a
time
dance
frame. Yeah. So they've gone from
scenario.
lunch to like evening, and when like you're in a big crowd, if you want to stay close to the people that are like around you, you might grab onto them or
Yes.
Well, he's grabbed her hand and put his hands, like his fingers, through her fingers.
Let's do it.
Like this, right? Like this.
I feel uncomfortable.
I am freaking out at this point. So she said to me, I need to know your perspective from a married woman.
Yep.
Like, can you
I'm
tell me
glad she asked you
what
because you're
you
like
would think?
fiercely.
And I was like,
you would have been fiercely, don't fucking come in near my husband.
I was like, I would be not okay with this. Now, she let his hand go. She's like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Like, she addressed it and she's like, I feel uncomfortable. Like, you're married.
Good
Like,
on her. Fucking oath. That's awesome.
So anyway, nothing obviously eventuated, but she just hated being put in that position. And I completely agree. And I went full fucking like angry wife mode.
Yep.
If that was my husband, would I be okay with that?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
And I don't think he thought that.
No.
But my question first was like, why wasn't his wife with him?
Yes.
That's my...
But did he, do you think she thought, okay, this is like we're now presupposing things, that if she had have reciprocated that he would have perhaps done something with her? Is that what you're thinking that she thought?
I think so, yeah.
And she put the kibosh on it. So then what did he do when she did that?
Well, it was the end of the night. It was nothing. But I think it was more about what other people thought might be happening. And she's like, I'm the single girl. They're going to assume that it's me that's starting this, and it's not. And I don't want to be a part of that. That's not in her. She's looking for love. That's not her New Year. She doesn't want to start her New Year's that way. But it's more like, what was this guy thinking? And how is that okay? He just didn't let up.
Do you know why it's okay? It's you've told it in the story, and I've already said it, and I'm going to say it again. Because she will blame herself for his behaviour. That's why he gets away with it. That's why he can do it. That's why he can say, I was just joking, love. I don't know what you're talking about. I was just being, friendly. I was just this. I was just that. Because he knows she's going to fucking blame herself. And society is going to blame her too. And so she can do nothing wrong. And he can do all of these things. And he knows it'll be fine.
Well, not in Lockie Neal's case.
Oh.
That bitch? No. Sorry.
No.
No, I'm talking like, no. His wife called his behaviour out on social media.
Okay, so who's Lockie Neal for the people that don't know who Lockie Neal is?
Brisbane Lions captain, co-captain, whatever.
All right.
Famous AFL football player. Supposedly, accusedly having an affair with his wife's best friend.
Wife's best friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And she called it out on social media, wife.
Mm-hmm.
And basically said that she has been betrayed in the most hurtful way possible. Mm-hmm. She went to Perth to be with her family, separated from him immediately,
right.
Called out the best friend on social media, and now Lockie Neal has had to do like a press conference, and he's relinquished his leadership position
right.
within his football, career. Within his football career. So he's now stepped down as, a leader of the Brisbane Lions, and it's affected his employment, I guess, from his choice of actions. And he did not address any questions specific to the cheating scandal at all.
Right. So he's feeling he's stood down, or did he stand himself down? Like, is he?
Well, I don't know if it was like a stunt, but like as in like a PR stunt. I think he's just not going to be a captain anymore. We'll be part of the team,
okay.
But he's just not going to lead the team.
Okay.
So I guess from a societal perspective, does that make it any better what he did?
Well, it's one of those things that's really interesting because this happened last year, as you know, with the CEO at the Coldplay concert.
Yeah, he just got called out. Yeah.
And I think their jobs were both affected by that as well. And it's a matter of like, at what point should it affect your job, and at what point is it a personal matter? And I guess that's up for discussion. Yeah,
debate.
Yeah.
Look, I think it was very brave of his wife to do that. I don't know if that would be my tactic, but I'm not in the public eye. Like she must have felt very hurt and very betrayed by her best friend and her husband.
Well, that would be the worst case of cheating possible.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Unless it was your sister. That would be the one thing that could be worse.
Well, I am reading a book called Forgetting You.
Right.
Not Forgetting You. Regretting You, sorry, by Colleen Hoover. It's actually a movie. It's out at the moment. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch the movie until I've read the book because I like to make sure I've got the full. Like, okay. I want to compare.
Yes.
And two sisters get with a guy and his best friend.
Right.
And one sister, the older sister, very responsible, is with the outgoing guy. And then the other sister, who's younger than her, is the outgoing girl with the quiet guy. So they're both with like their opposites.
Right.
For years, they think that they're with the right person until there's a car crash. And the younger sister, basically lied to the sister, and she died in this car crash with the sister's husband. They were both going to work together, but she wasn't rostered to work on that day, and their car was found at a hotel. So they had been having an affair the whole time.
Oh.
Now, the story is like basically backtracking, like who, when, how did this start? They started dating when they were teenagers. She fell pregnant, the one that's widowed now, I guess, when she was 17 years old.
Right.
So she felt like, I guess, she had to stay with this guy, but they were both with the wrong person. So then the younger sister, before she dies, gets with this ex-boyfriend of hers again, she falls pregnant, makes it look like it's his. But when this baby is born, it looks exactly like the sister's husband.
Oh.
So it's like a full triangle. Anyway, I've got to watch the movie. But I'm like, very into that book because it's dramatic.
Yeah.
Doesn't it happen in real life, I guess?
Oh, 100% it happens in real life.
I guess
which is why I said that would be your worst.
Absolutely.
I think that would be the one thing that's worse than your best friend. And I would imagine, not knowing her at all, the most pain would be the fact that that's your best friend willing to do that to you, because your best friend is a very important person in your life.
Yeah.
And if your best friend is not someone who's integrous and authentic and reliable and will have your back, for me, over the years, even when I was married, my best friend, like whoever I considered my best friend, was more important to me than my marriage in some ways. You know, like not like you compare the two and you would never go, I'm going to leave my husband because my best friend's more fun.
Yes.
But that's a very pivotal role in someone's life.
Yeah.
And like when you're low and that friendship's solid, that matters.
Yeah.
Like
it does.
And so I feel for her in relation to the best friend angle. I don't know how that then fits into his job, her job. I don't know what that then means.
I mean, I did have a little bit of empathy in this moment because I was like, if I pull myself out, if they weren't, celebrities as such, if Brisbane didn't win the grand final last year, would I even know who this guy is? Probably not.
Well, I didn't know who he was.
Let's be real, I'm not a big fan, but would it matter if they weren't in the public eye? Like, I understand his choices have led to this. Like, I totally get that. But why does he need to think about relinquishing his leadership? I get people look up to him. I understand it. But work and career, like personal life, two separate things. He doesn't muck around with women on the field.
Well, yes and no, because like we talk about sex in the bedroom making your whole relationship better because everything's interconnected. So if your integrity off the field is not there, then some of it would translate energetically, not necessarily physically or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would imagine if someone was my boss or my captain or whatever,
Yeah.
I'd want him to be a decent bloke
Yeah.
who treated women well. Yeah, but it's not my decision to make.
Nah.
I'm happy.
Anyway.
I'm happy for it to be not my decision to
Yeah,
make. To be
that's
honest,
right. Yeah. We'll
like
go
that's
with
not my. But I get it. Actually, I get both sides. I do. I get both sides.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I've linked back to my Substacking. 'Cause
Look
that's
at
what
you with your little.
Well,
Like,
you get alerted to these
linking.
emails, and then I'm like, oh, I'll have a bit of a read. I don't know. I'd like.
no, it's great.
I'm happy to read other people's
you read.
thoughts
Oh, right.
because it's thought provoking, and I don't always think about things, in this way. So I thought, oh, this is something that I think we could talk about.
Okay.
So the heading is the pattern no one wants to name, and the subheading of it is why knowing better doesn't stop who you're attracted to.
Right.
So Michelle Latour, she's a somatic intuitive guide. That's her job, right?
Okay.
Okay, I don't know where she lives anyway. So she speaks about low effort men, and she said women who feel pulled toward men who are emotionally unavailable, men who are married, men who are in relationships, men who can't fully choose them, women who are married or in relationships themselves yet find emotional or intellectual intimacy elsewhere, not always physical cheating, but something just as binding, just as consuming, just as hard to let go of. And then there are the women who settle, who stay with low effort men, who keep shrinking their needs, who keep explaining themselves, who keep hoping consistency will arrive if they're patient enough or work hard enough. The point that she's then making is, where is the point here? And I was reading it to you before. It's just that what am I saying? Oh, I just read the whole thing. Like I just flicked through the whole thing. She is saying that it's not about morality, it's about sensation. So when we're talking about this whole cheating stuff,
Yep.
most people think attraction is a choice. It's not. Attraction is a nervous system response. This
Yep.
is her explanation for why it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Your body is not scanning for healthy or toxic. It's scanning for familiar, for
Yep.
a resonance, for a frequency. It already knows how to survive inside. This is why you can listen to every podcast, read every book, spot every red flag, name every pattern intellectually and still feel pulled. Because you are not attracted to the person, you are attracted to the sensation that arises in your body when you're in contact with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would agree with that. I would say it in different words, but I would agree with that because, as you know, I'm into the mirror concept. And so you are attracted to the mirror of yourself in someone else. And so that's either it's going to be something you need to learn about yourself that you need to improve, or something that you can enhance a positive part of yourself. And so that is not related to the 3D society we live in, where you have to be attracted to only single people, and you have to be attracted to this type of person or this type of scenario, because your mirror could be a lesson in anyone that you encounter. And I agree, you can be attracted to other people who you wouldn't necessarily want to be attracted to, because there's a lesson in that, is my opinion.
Yes,
Yeah.
but then the attraction can go too far, like in these examples that we've given.
The attraction probably is like, the attraction's something that happens. Your actions is what matters in this moment, isn't it?
It is. But what she's saying is some women are drawn to married or unavailable men. Why? Because there is intimacy, but also distance. So, we've been talking regularly about being single, trying to, going on dates, trying to find someone that is, compatible, you're relatable to, that you can enjoy time with.
Yep.
She's saying that what my comprehension of it is that women are more attracted to married men because they can't give as much of themselves to them as maybe a single man can, because they're married and they've got fulfillments.
So it's good because they can only give some of themselves and they only want some?
Connection without full exposure. That's what she says. Belonging without the risk of being fully seen and fully left, because they don't have to fully give themselves either. So it's like a survival, like a protection mechanism. If I'm with someone who's with someone else, do I have to divulge everything about
No.
myself to them. No, because look at, like, on the other side, you're married, you're partnered, you're in a relationship.
So is this to explain why cheating feels awesome in her
fucking
very
know.
nice way? Is she
don't.
explaining why she thinks cheating feels good?
Your nervous system recognizes it. I'm just gonna keep going with what. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating topic because,
intimacy.
as you know, I've had experience with the married side of things from a very open perspective, not in the cheating
Yeah.
scenario, and so I haven't seen. I've seen the points that she's making in a positive way. I've seen them in a positive way in marriages that are open. That that men who have done a lot of emotional work on themselves, they're very emotionally intelligent because they've gone through this whole, how would I feel if my wife slept with someone else? How would I feel if I slept with someone else? How would it feel? And then they've done lots of discussions about what each other would like to do outside of the marriage and what's acceptable. And so the relationships tend to be solid, very solid.
Yeah.
And that's not a cheating scenario. So that's why I said, is she in a cheating? Is she talking about cheating attraction?
I'm trying to gather. So if he can't choose you, your body doesn't have to risk being completely chosen and completely hurt. The distance isn't accidental. It's protective. Other women become the emotional refuge.
So she doesn't have to worry about being hurt, and she's concerned with being hurt by regular men.
I'm guessing. I mean, I'm just reading between the lines here. You can get any form of intimacy without having to ask for your own needs to be met. Men who don't initiate, don't lead, don't offer consistency. The nervous system is doing something similar here. I will lower my needs so I don't lose connection. I will accept less so I don't feel the grief of wanting more. Do you see where I'm coming?
So they'll take half a man because they don't
Protect themselves.
So then, because then they don't want to fully give themselves. They're scared to fall in love. They're going to fall in love anyway. That's not going to work. Like, love is one of the emotions. You're just going to feel it like randomly when you don't want to. It's the same as attraction. You don't want to love some people, but you do, and you do want to love some people, and that's great. And some people you love that you don't want to love.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's going to happen regardless. So they think they're protecting themselves, but they're actually not.
Yeah, so she's divorced, she's repartnered now. She just talks about the shadow that most people avoid. And I guess the shadow is desire underneath the patterns. That's what she's saying. There's a desire to feel chosen, to feel special, to feel more emotionally important, to be more seen, a desire to finally be the one for someone.
Yeah.
And I haven't been in that situation, but, you know, like if I'm talking in regards to the book, okay?
Yeah.
Like, the way it's written, it sounds like they were with the wrong people. Like, the quieter guy who's still alive with now his dead wife's baby, who's not even really his baby, has said, I think we got it wrong the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he said that when they were 17 and then disappeared for such a long period of time. He disappeared for basically 17 years because he couldn't deal with confronting that situation.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do hard things sometimes to
you do.
get what you want.
Yeah, you do.
You know, you went through enough to get to where you got to.
This is why I'm not scared of any of it now. And I look back now and I'm like, you know, the one you're meant to be with and all this kind of stuff. I don't believe in any of that. I'm not saying I don't think that couples do really well and they can last forever. I'm definitely not saying that. And as you know, I've never said that. But I don't think that's for most people. I think that was invented many years ago as a construct, and we've taken it as a given. And if that was the case, divorce rates wouldn't be so high. You wouldn't have so much cheating. We wouldn't have all of that. I think thinking about people of just whoever's in front of you and saying, okay, what can this be, and being really open with the idea of what something can be, I think we can do better as a society about what relationships can do. And like, I think going back and looking at someone who you used to know is like, that's like looking at yourself that you used to know. I mean, we were all different at 17, weren't we?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think it's tricky. And I think a lot of people get stuck in the idea of something rather than actually what's in front of them, which is magic, which is better. And we were discussing this earlier when I stopped making vision boards, and I was a massive vision board fan. I'm going to decide what's happening for that year. And I do pick out pictures and I'd post them and I'd put certain words and I would whatever. And in 2023, I just made my last board and I realized the universe has better things in store for me than I could ever have in store for myself. And if you had have asked me, would I be ridiculously happy single at 53 years old? I would have said no. I would have said, no, I'm still looking.
Yeah.
He's out there somewhere. I'm going to find this. And letting that go for me was the single best decision I've ever made for myself.
Yeah.
Not suggesting other people should make that decision. It's completely up to them. But letting go of the construct that this is one of the things that's going to bring you joy in your life, and seeing the joy happen everywhere anyway, just in every area of my life. I feel like instead of focusing on one area and making that happen, I've got like 20 things happening that are all doing well. So back to your book, like them looking back to their 17-year-old selves. I don't know. I think it sounds like it belongs in a book, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Anth and I met when we were young.
Yeah.
And I think just upon reflection from what you're saying, I think it comes down to a choice. Like you've made the decision to not do a vision board anymore and to trust and to, you know, walk the path that's meant for you.
Yes.
And be happy with where that path, like where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Whereas it's a choice to stay married
Yes.
and evolve together, because we've talked about this before as well. Being partnered is just as hard at times as being alone, because you're thinking about
100%.
You know, the same thing. You got to consider the other person. There's all these other factors that you have to factor in when you're making a decision.
Is hard, and full stop.
Exactly. But yeah, you've got to choose to evolve together, because the minute that you do go on another path, or, you know, you're at chapter 5 and he's at chapter 10, like I've been there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel nice.
No.
You have to make a decision.
There is no meant to be in that.
No.
You have deliberately chosen a phenomenal relationship, and you've made that the most important thing in your life. And that's what I've always admired about you, and I think that is amazing. But it's a deliberate choice. It is not
highlighting that.
It is not a meant to be. It's meant. You feel it's meant to be because you've made a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
And I 1000% am on board with that and agree with you. But I don't think you know, you went this whole the one, as you know, I've been on about this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Is tricky, because it's like, oh, but he was the one. No. You've worked together. You've picked each other repeatedly.
Yes. You have picked each other.
Because if he was the one, you wouldn't have to do any work at all. It'd be just like phenomenal every day.
And
fantastic.
you picked yourself repeatedly. Every
100%.
goddamn time.
Yeah. And that's how I found my joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other people are going to find their joy in weird situations, which, I mean, we discussed this recently too, where I'd said I used to have this massive thing about people that did cheat, and I was like really anti, and had quite a lot of judgment about people that cheated. And now I realise some people are going to find their joy by cheating, working through what they've done, and then coming through the other side.
There's a lot of growth in that.
And we all make decisions, and I most certainly continue to do this, that I think, oh, Chris, you could have done better with that. You could have treated that person better. You could have been more, humane in that moment, because I am very good at deleting. I don't necessarily have shame for it, but I want to get better. I want to get better at treating people like people.
You do. You make it sound like you're the most horrible person on the planet.
Well, I'm not horrible, but people, like, you know, they say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I'm trying not to throw any stones.
It's hard not to do that as a human.
Well, this is where you're phenomenal, right? Because and we've said this a million times, because you have a great life on paper and in reality. So, like, on paper it looks really good. Like you've managed to fulfill the life that everyone else would respect and admire, and it's authentic. which is amazing, right? Which is rare because some people have it on paper, but it's not really.
Hey, there are moments.
Yeah.
Can we talk about one of those moments?
No. But you still respect and admire other people that haven't made those choices. And that's what makes you amazing, because it's important that we both have differing opinions, because the world has differing opinions, but the respect and the authenticity and the integrity remains. And that's the issue that comes in with the cheating and the relationships and who should be with who and all that kind of stuff, because it feels like this should have happened, this should have happened, this should have happened. No, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
Did you grow from it? Did you learn? Do you want to do better? Yeah, then you're fine.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
On that note, we will see you next week.
On that note. Love you all. Bye. Thanks for listening to Sex and the One, an original podcast created by
KV and B,
produced by
B and KV,
content by
KV and B,
enthusiasm for sex,
B, and mostly KV.